welcome to another Lead In with Lorne, and I want to give you a picture. You're at a lunch table with me. I brought you along as a guest, and we're going to meet some of our new hires. And so here we are sitting with new hires for our retail bank. And we asked one of the new hires why she chose to come work at the bank. And her reaction was genuinely, unabashedly, without a second thought, well, my mom wanted me out of the house, so that's why I thought I better go and get a job. What would your reaction be? Now that's that moment. Now we're gonna move over to another picture where we're observing a customer action at a retail store, and we're watching what happens. And this happened to my wife last week when she was out trying to buy a certain type of notebook that our 7-year-old needed for science class. It had to have a certain configuration, and she had run out, and so my wife went to this retail store to buy it. And they didn't have any in stock, and the clerk that she talked to said, well, I'll check my inventory. They're supposed to be here. Well, they're not here, but they're in the receiving area. Come back another day. And Kathleen said, well, she kind of needs them right now, but can you give me an idea when they might be back on the shelf? And this person said, oh, I think you should give 2 to 3 days. And she goes, really, 2 to 3 days? Is that? And she goes, well, I don't want you wasting your time. Where she said, was there a number I can call and check if they are on the shelf? Or, well, we don't give out numbers. So as it happens, a peer of that particular person comes by, and here's sort of the interaction, and goes, hey, you know what? Let me go back there and check and see. 5 minutes later, this person comes back, with a box of these notebooks, and cheerfully said, yeah, they're not hard to find. And then Kathleen quickly bought a bunch of them and went on her way. And how did that happen? The two interactions, like you could have had, Kathleen have to drive all the way over to Walmart or to somewhere else, London Drugs, to see if she could find them, waste another hour of her day. But they were right there in the back. And it just, somebody was going to let it just skip by because who cares, I guess. And the other person took 5 minutes to go and check the stock and bring it back out. And obviously that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to, not just sell something, but solve your customers' problems. And it just got me thinking about a third example and situation. If you and I had joined this other institution that I've got some experience with, and I'll try not to give the institution away, but I was quite surprised when I got there around, as newbies, how hard it was to get anything done. And I was observing this. The general pervasive attitude was, yeah, it's hard to get that done on an internal process. And generally, when you ask someone, they told you to go ask someone else. That was the pervasive response. Well, I only do this part of it. Go ask someone else to complete it. And you could spend a huge amount of time just trying to go through the bureaucratic maze to try and get something done. But people that have been there for a while, they had a different approach. They knew who to call because they had relationships. So they had 10, 15 years. They knew who the people who could do an end run was. And so things never, ever got properly fixed because you had a predominant of people that by and large built a business on how to do these transactions internally based on relationships. And frankly, you just, if you were a new person, you just had to kind of learn it and figure it out as you went along. And that's just the way the world worked. And I just thought, man, that is just really unacceptable. All those things are unacceptable. So I just want to challenge you as you think about your situation. First of all, who are you hiring into your business? And why are they choosing to come? I mean, not just to do the job, of course, right? Certainly not because, they just have to get out of the house. I mean, what are you going to build? What kind of culture and great brand experience are you going to build on that? And then when they get there, do you really kind of clearly outline and truly coach them on what you expect? Or do you just kind of believe, well, their DNA ought to figure it out. Anybody ought to figure it out. If I've learned anything, it's just not that obvious to some people. You've got to be clear about your expectations, and you've got to show people. And we talk about development and training. And a lot of times we talk about all those courses you can take for those extra few bucks that you have, or that extra time, but that's not where the real coaching and learning that really makes a difference to the organization should take place. It should take place at the intersection between people, the intersection with customers, so that people have clarity around what the expectations are. And then the third thing is that it should be easy to do business based on process, not just based on relationships. And if you've got a business that's based on the very fact that people know how things are done end arounds, you've got a fragile business there. I'm telling you, you've got one that's going to get its butt kicked somewhere along the way, just a matter of time. So I hope those three scenarios just get you a moment to maybe reflect. Who gets into the organization? Why are they there? Who lays out the expectations around what it really means to really, give a great experience to the next person or process or customer? And then how do you have ongoing coaching, including peer-to-peer coaching, to make sure that that happens? And then what are you doing to constantly work on those processes so that you're not depending on end arounds and working relationships to make your business run? You're really depending on processes to make people feel and look good and feel great about what they do every day. Thanks. Have a great week. Hang out with us on our socials. Join the conversation. We love all your thoughts and ideas and examples, and we'll look forward to seeing you again for another lead in next Monday. Thanks, and bye for now.